Hey guys, my name's Jadon and I'm bringing you this week's weekly devotional for our series, Summer in the Psalms. This week we're focusing on Psalms 40, which is a psalm written by David. And when you read through this psalm, one thing you can notice is that David is talking about God's deliverance throughout the psalm. You have one way he talks about God's deliverance, which is how it showed up in the past, and then you have another way in which he acknowledges he's going to need more of that in the future. But the part I want to focus on is how David wants to talk about that deliverance and to tell others about it. We can see that in verses 5, 9, and 10, in which David says, "You have multiplied, O Lord my God, your wondrous deeds and your thoughts toward us. None can compare with you. I will proclaim and tell of them, yet they are more than can be told." And then we go to verse 9 and 10, in which David says, "I have told the glad news of deliverance in the great congregation. Behold, I have not restrained my lips, as you know, O Lord. I have not hidden your deliverance within my heart. I have spoken of your faithfulness and your salvation. I have not concealed your steadfast love and your faithfulness from the great congregation." In those verses, we can see that David's not only intent on telling others, but he's eager to do so. And, speaking of my own life, I'm definitely encouraged by these verses. It's one thing for me to acknowledge how God has worked in my life and how God has helped me in difficult situations, strengthening me and providing right timing and all that. But it's another thing for me to tell others about that. And just learning from this psalm, we can also apply that to our lives. We can first acknowledge what God has done in our lives, but we should also be eager and happy to tell others about how that has happened. And there's all kinds of reasons to do it. We can do it to encourage others, especially if they're going through similar situations that we have been through in the past. Or whether we're spreading the gospel and we want to talk about God's character. So going forward this week, let's keep that same mentality in mind. Let's not only acknowledge what God has done in our lives and think back on how that happened, but let's also figure out ways in which we can tell that to others, especially those who are going through similar circumstances or those who wish to know more about God and to know more about the God we serve. Whether you tell it to encourage someone or to spread the gospel, at the end of the day, we do it to glorify God, which is our ultimate purpose. So this week, let's be encouraged and let's go out and do that. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week and tune in next Sunday for when we go to our next song.